Yeah, so I just wondered what the difference is, what we're experiencing right now compared to when someone dies or when we die. Is there something you can
Yeah,
say about that, or?
yeah. In a way, we're all dead.
Okay.
It just. So can I just ask before we do this, have you done psychological work or emotional work or chakra work or energy work before?
Yes.
You have. So you've got a good conceptualization of self. Just before I start on this hardcore non-duality stuff, like sometimes I like to check in with people about that, because they can then take it personally, and this isn't personal, this message, and then they can try and fix their character with this message, and that can be a disaster. I mean, especially when I say that you are already dead.
Yeah.
So the assumption is, by most people on this planet, is that they are alive as a person. So we can say, okay, the body's alive as opposed to dead, like the heart is beating and the breathing is happening. But when I mean like you're already dead, it's they believe that there is a soul or there is an entity inside the body that is alive. And that's untrue. There isn't an entity inside the body that is alive. Who would be alive? There is thoughts happening and feelings happening and emotions happening, but there isn't, that doesn't belong to something called you. There isn't a you there that is experiencing this life. There is experiencing happening and you appear in that.
Okay.
So in a way you could say, or I did say, you aren't alive, you are already dead. So there isn't somebody there that is going to die. What happens seemingly in death is that the body dissolves into something else, and with that goes the habits, the conditions, your memories, your ideas, everything about the character dissolves. But that character was never alive, so it can't actually die like we believe it can. But the dissolving of the personality structure passes. But what you're left with is what you already always were, which is this consciousness that transcends the life and death.
So what is the purpose of this experience then, that we all think we're experiencing? Like, and I guess I'll ask one question at a time so it doesn't get too
complex. Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know what the purpose of life is. Like, we kind of made up the notion of purpose. So it most probably is going to be that we don't ever get an answer to that. But when this is recognized and when this energetic shift happens, there is no more questions in a way. Like your essence is completely content with it, with not knowing, with not answering things. It just feels content in its expression. It doesn't want or need anything. It doesn't it doesn't have anywhere to go. It's just content with that. A bit like, do you do art or anything like this, or
like I understand that feeling of in the moment like that.
Creating for nothing. That's exactly it. But I mean, who knows? Like, we can't ever look outside of ourselves and look at the purpose of consciousness, because we are consciousness. So we can't step out of it and be like, what is the purpose? We can tell ourselves nice stories. Like, a lot of people like to tell the story that this creation is all about waking up to oneself. And that's a nice idea, but I can't guarantee that's true. That's nice. I like it. I could go with that.
Okay. So,
but
like, I don't understand, I guess, what the purpose of doing anything is then, or having any direction or things that make you feel good in normal life. Like, I'm excited because I'm going to start doing art and I'm going to start taking classes or whatever, and it makes me feel good. Is that just like a temporary up and then down, and then that's what we're trying to not do?
The purpose of you as a human is to be fully you as a human. What's happened to most people is they're not fully them as a human. They're living through the narration of themselves. So they've been told, all these romantic, grandiose stories of what they've got to be. And then they kind of like get confused as to what they actually are. And what we are on the human level is to move towards pleasure and to avoid pain. And that's different for all people. So if there's an enjoyment of painting, then there would be an assumption that painting happens. There also is the gathering of nuts to eat for the winter. So like, I mean, like gathering money, like, so it's to be fully yourself on the human level is the purpose. Just like a dog is to be a dog, a wall is to be a wall, a human is to be a human. But we get mixed up with the storytelling and being ourselves. So we want this grand story of, yeah, finding the most amazing lover, the most creative job, the most amount of money. There's all types of things that we tell ourselves, like to save the planet, to help other people. And it doesn't mean that doesn't happen, because that might be the natural urge of the person. Right. It's just that it's coming back to that natural urge, rather than this identification of doing things for the idea of a story, and for the idea that you will find love in that, like you will find home.
Right. So
but this is all very unconscious.
Yeah. So sort of just going about the things that you feel drawn to sort of organically, and not comparing yourself or feeling stress, or just if something feels not the right thing, then just don't do it.
Well, that's very complex. So if I said yes to all of that, that could mean so many things to different people. And I could be saying yes to somebody who's like, yeah, it feels good to kill myself now.
Right.
Like, so that was a bit complex for me to answer. That was too many things.
Okay.
But what I would say is like, is right now, who is it that's experiencing Lisa? Who is it that's watching Lisa? And where is that felt? And that's an actual question to you.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Who is? Well, me.
And where does Terry feel like she is?
Here. I don't know if you can see me.
In the heart. A lot of people point to the heart area when I ask that question. Do you feel like you're in the heart?
I guess so.
Yeah. So Terry feels like she's there. So if you just close your eyes for a moment and go into the sensation of the heart, where is that heart sensation happening? And you can answer that.
Yeah, it's like not here. It's somewhere else.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, you cannot find it.
When you do that, it feels a little bit more like a nothing, like an empty, like a space. So when you do that exercise, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's the same for the looking. Like, it's just the looking is so confusing because you think you're seeing all these objects, but actually it's the same. Like that everything is happening in this looking, which is all things. And so that's the most important thing, is to really see this and to really resonate with this. Like and then it will become more clear, the character, and when the character's seeking and not seeking, you know, when it's in a natural flow or less in natural flow. But the most important part is to really see that who you are isn't a limitation and isn't a place, it's all things, everything. And that's absolute love.
So does it make, when you are able to maybe understand this better or something, does it make it easier to say, feel a way to the right things in life, including like the right partner? Like, can you be with the wrong partner, or are you just looking at it wrong because you're not really looking? Are you feeling it wrong? I don't know how to say it.
Yeah. When this is really seen, then it's really clear it becomes more clear when you're seeking, or when seeking's arising. And there cannot be any wrong or right. There can only be what's happening. So the most important part is that. But what's coming up, I would say, is like a wanting a direction. But who is it that wants a direction?
Right.
And who is it that's convinced that that direction will bring me freedom? what will bring you freedom is always this moment, is always the empty looking, which is all things and no things. The mind always wants to go out into future and what I do and can I do the wrong way, because it hurts. Because for many years there's been a belief that doing the wrong thing creates my unhappiness. It's not true. Your freedom is always this instant. It's like screaming, like, here, 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 here I am. I love you.
And then we can get like better at that, because we feel it already, but understanding it can help you. Oh, I feel it right now. So I can expand it.
Yeah. Well, again, that's a complex question because we don't know what's better or what's worse in a way. But what will happen is the seeking will be really seen for what it is as awakenings happen. That freedom doesn't come from time. And then the choices more than likely will change.
I think it was you maybe said at some point that there's an energy that we can feel that, and maybe you didn't say this, don't, like, I'm not saying you did, I may have read it somewhere else or something. So is there an energy that we can follow?
Oh, I can see that there's a strong urge arising in you that wants direction, like that wants some form of direction, because more than likely because for that person it feels safe if I have direction, like if I know what to follow.
Mm-hmm.
And my advice, if you could call it advice, or what comes out here is, who is it that's experiencing? Like, so the mind says, what can I follow? What is right? The mind comes up with all these questions around doership, but who is it that's experiencing now?
Right.
Where is the freedom? And that is the freedom. It's not in you following something in the next moment. It's right here.
Okay.
Right here.
Yeah.
And the mind will say, follow this or follow that, or this is wrong or this is right. I need this or I don't need this. And then it's like, what is experiencing now? What is free right now?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And this is love.
So just people are going about their life, but experiencing that within, experiencing right now, what you're saying. So we're still going about doing, like, it's sort of like, what's the point of doing anything?
Yeah. That doesn't come up. That only comes up for a person that is afraid of doership, that's afraid and believes that happiness is found in it. So it's not about what you do or what you're going to do tomorrow or how to act or how to behave. It's who is experiencing right now. That is the freedom.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, with pleasure, Terry.
Thank you.
Lots of love to you.
All the way from Canada.
Yeah, and you're the first person that I've ever done this with in Zoom.
Oh,
So
wow.
you are my first time. That
Oh,
could sound a bit weird.
That's neat. Thank you.
And it worked.
Yes.
Nice.
Thank you so much.
Terry. Yeah, thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Okay, so you can